Well, this could be a bit of a problem. I want to do some power tests today, but we've had a power cut, and so that would normally be a bit of an issue. However, these are solar tests, and what my idea is to test a dirty panel with this power cube. Now these can only accept about 25 watts of charging because of the size of the battery, this LiFePO 4. So what I've had an idea of doing is using a dirty panel, let the panel get all dirtied up and see if that cuts down the amount of power. Now here is the panel, as you can see, it's quite well dirtied up, and I figured, would it be possible to just have 25 watts coming through? You know, try bits of shading maybe, something like that. But to be able to use it for charging at longer times than about 7:30 in the morning to about 8:30 while it's summer, that was the idea. And the answer is 58 watts, you can see in the top right. So in fact that's too much for that power cube, can only take about 25 watts. So now that we know there's still 58 watts coming in, I'll use this piece of cardboard and try and cover some over or something, see if we can get nearer to that 25 watts. There we are, I've just covered it like that. Let's go and have a look. I've covered too much. Nope in the top right. Okay, I'm just going to adjust it. Alright, well now there's just a little bit of a corner. I hope this isn't just like an on-off situation. Let's go and find out. Like that? It's 11 watts. I can use that. I might just plug it in and see what happens. And there we go, I've plugged it in. Yes, it's charging, it's showing the correct symbol. It's only at 12.6 volts at the moment, but we know there's 11 watts coming in. And that is in the middle of the day. So it is a technique just to cover a 100 watt panel, a small amount, and be able to charge smaller batteries. That's pretty cool. So all that seems to be working out nice and dandy. There's one thing I've thought about is wind. If we've got any wind and that pushed off to there, we're bringing in nearly 60 watts, which won't do that battery a lot of good. So I've got an empty paint can. I'll put that on the corner, why not, and that should stop it from blowing away. But I do like this idea rather than using a regulator of any type. I probably will clean the panel, but using a little piece of card like that appears to have sorted this out. All I've got to do is make sure I keep an eye on the sun movement and make sure, just keep checking through one day and see where I need to position it. And then it should be fine for the charging. It's a bit of a mess for some people, but if you're generally kicking around the house anyway, weekends or whatever, you can certainly do your charging using a 100 watt panel into something that can't take 100 watts. So that's sorted out the blue one, which doesn't have any wattage showing on the display, but this eco-worthy does. So what I can simply do is I can check how many watts are coming in by plugging in this into this one, which is another power cube. So as you can see on this one, now it's plugged in, I'm showing 13.9 volts. If I press this red button, you can see there's 2.4 amps coming in. So the actual wattage I'll show at the bottom of the screen, and that just shows the system is working nicely by shading the panel. And also, with no power, we are able to run this AC unit from the EcoFlow, which is kind of important today because, as you might be able to see out there, it's showing about 36 degrees centigrade, nearly 100 Fahrenheit. So not too bad when there's a power cut to have cooling. So there we are, quite the simple idea for charging systems with smaller ratings than the 50 to 100 watts you'll get from one of these panels. I just thought as well, maybe use a cloth instead. If you find out that about that area does the trick for about 20 watts coming in, there you go. Or maybe, make that smaller, whatever size is required. But it makes a good use out of a panel that would have been putting in too much power. Just by doing something which everybody hates with solar, which is shade. And in fact you can use the shade. So, I hope that's of use to you, and thanks very much for watching.